Welcome to the quick guide. I'll try to be as concise yet informative as I can be. This came up after training a few of our guys. Maybe this video can help guide you. In this video, I'll go into meds, ammo types, fitting attachments or finding attachments that you can buy, wait times for scavs, learning the maps, and your visual light setting that maybe could help you see better. Alright, so here is the health tab, and I'll put this up just for reference. The health tab is where you're going to look to see what ailments you have on certain limbs. Like my left arm could be bleeding, a light bleed, a heavy bleed, a fracture, could be in pain, things like this. Could be blacked out when the health is 0 out of 60 versus 1 out of 60. These are some of the ailments that you can have. Also even a concussion on the head. But I'll go over all of them individually. So you'll see this is one of the few ones, health kits that you can use when your HP is at 0 out of 60 or 0 out of whatever. Cannot use on your thorax or your head. Those are insta-kills when they get to 0. But this will use 1 out of 3 HP resources every time you use it. And it could take your arm from 0 out of 60 to 1 out of 30. You'll still need to heal the item with cheese or some other form or means, but that HP will be halved. I don't know how many times you can use it per se, but I know I've had it blacked out more than once and used it more than once on the same limb. And I think that's still a thing, but something to try is to make sure you put it in your special slot so you don't lose it when you die. But it's good to keep one with 3 uses because usually in a bad fight, your legs might be hurt, and like maybe an arm you could maybe fix, or a stomach. This will mess up your food if you have a stomach at 0 out of 70. It'll mess up your food and water. Like you'll actually get hungry. And you have to keep eating until you fix it, or you'll just die. For the HP resource is something like the Grizzly is 1800. The HP of something like a cheese is 100. So this will just use straight HP to heal the green bar here, depending on what you have. You'll see the light bleeds are 40 HP, so out of this 1800, it'll stop light bleed with 40 HP with a use time of 5 seconds. But I do believe it also heals some. So like during this 5 seconds, it's a little bit longer than, say, the 2-second cheese, but you're not only stopping a light bleed and you're also healing. I think it could do more than one thing at a time, but you have to keep using it. If you have, say I have 2 light bleeds and 2 heavy bleeds and a fracture, you have to just keep using it as you have more ailments or status effects. You'll see also removes concussion. This removes pain. There's some medicine that removes concussion. It also removes pain. Pain is when you're at 0 out of whatever, when you're blacked out, when your limb is blacked out. You'll see the whole limb actually turns black on the character, like in I think it's the top left, you'll see it. So this will not remove pain. So that's why you also need like painkillers or something. You notice these only last 80 seconds. They take your hydration down a little bit, but they have 4 uses, so you can keep popping them. Something you can also do before a fight is pop the painkillers, so that way when you do eventually get a black limb, you're still moving, you're not limping. That aside, you can fix fractured with splints as well. You can get 3 uses. These ALU splints are pretty great because they're 3 use in 1, versus this takes a whole slot for just 1, and it's slower. And then you obviously can use regular bandages to heal light bleeds. You can use these S marches to stop heavy bleeds. There's cat tourniquets. The hemostatic tourniquet, that's 3 seconds. It's basically a better S march. There's little 3 out of 3 packages, hemostats for heavy bleeds. There's all kinds of healing items, and that's not even getting into the injectors and all that. Now, we can discuss different ammos. Ammo types versus armor. And what do the tiers mean? What does some of the numbers mean? How do they relate? And also I'm going to point out the plates in the armor here. You can actually replace these plates. So one thing somebody could do is take this plate out for some reason and go in the raid. You put this on thinking it's better armor, but really it had no plates in it. So you're just getting the weaker tier 3 plates, or tier 2 even. Because if you notice, the armor points are 2 for all the chest, all these, but for the front plate it is 45 and 43. So that should give you an idea of what you're looking at least with the armor. Kind of the same thing here, top, nape, and ears. All armored 3 on the helmet, all listed here. No plates to insert, as you can see it's grayed out. So that gives you an idea of what the armor is. So obviously 4 better than 3. What we can look at up here is how does M855 compare to these armors. If you look, it has a very high rating. I believe it's very high, high, medium, low, very low. I believe those are the 5 kind of stages of penetration for the ammo. Very high means you're going to penetrate it pretty much within the first round, unless you get a lucky deflection or ricochet. High is like 4 bullets max, and you're going to get through it. And that doesn't mean you kill them on the 4th bullet. It just means that you're going to get through the armor by then. It also depends on the HP of the armor sometimes. But statistically, I think it matters most that it's the numbers, the tier of the armor. But just to quickly explain, a tier 3 with 1 HP versus a tier 3 with 100 HP, I could almost shoot you with a pistol and get through the tier 3 with the 1 HP. Medium is like, I pretty much have to mag dump you to kill you, or to even get through. Low is like, why even bother? Shoot him in the legs or the face. And then very low is just like, even worse than why even bother. It's like, what are you doing? The other thing you want to look at is the damage. So you'll notice this 762 PS is going to penetrate at a higher rate, very slightly, but at a higher rate, in that it can actually kind of, why bother a tier 4, but could if it had to, while this one could not, and it does more damage. There is a list on fragmentation chances, but I'm not going to get into that. You just look up EFT, Escape from Tarkov ammo chart. It's pretty close to what this has in the game. But going back to what we're looking at here, the M855 can penetrate this level 3 head armor. So 1 or 2 shots in through the head armor without a lucky ricochet, you're pretty much guaranteed to kill. But on this front plate or back plate, you're more likely going to get somebody mad at you turning around and shooting you in the face, because he won't be able to get through the tier 4 armor at that level with M855. Now let's look at pistol rounds. Again, 54 damage per hit, and it's less penetration. But one thing people don't talk about is the rate of fire at which these guns can use. So most M4s or AKs are going to shoot slower than, say, like an MP7 or MP5. These types of guns will shoot weaker rounds at a faster rate. So if you look at the health tab again, 35 damage for one bullet, it's an insta tap. As long as I get through or around your armor, you're dead. Thorax, it's going to be 2 shots. Again, no armor. Stomach, again, 2 shots. Well, you won't die instantly to a blacked stomach. So if you black out the stomach, they actually don't die. They would have to repair their stomach, and their food and water will spill out. It's kind of gross, right? But they have to stitch it up to fix it to 1 HP. But the thorax and head are insta-kills. So just looking at these two for simplicity, it's like 1 bullet will take you out with PST AP. Now to throw in something a little bit more interesting, you have different varying rounds. So this one, pistol ammo, does about the same damage, but instead of almost always penetrating tier 2, it's a high chance of penetrating tier 2. So that's just kind of a rough understanding of how the ammunitions work. And then I will compare it to a 7.62 by 54, which, wrong round, PS, sorry, will get you to tier 4 at very high. Looking back at the gear, you can see this is class 4, tier 4. Everything says 4 on it. This will punch through that and do 84 damage pretty much on the first shot. But again, you have to hit. It will not kill them in the thorax doing 84 damage. It might even be reduced damage. Again, I'm not perfect on this, but for those of you that like to kind of figure things out, this is definitely your time to shine. Let me know. But the thorax will not kill you, and the head probably would. Is the rough and dirty on how this works. Now we have attachments. Everybody wants a cool gun, a little grip, little sight, cool buttstock. But how do you know what fits on what? So everything can come apart. Just to show you kind of how this works. Alright, so if you start taking parts off, it actually makes the gun smaller. If I add the magazine, makes it larger again. It needs a handle to work. I can attach a dust cover. It's optional. Stock, optional. But that's, it severely helps the gun perform better when it's got the right parts. But how do you know what the right parts are is a good question. I get asked a lot. This linked search will be your friend, and it will be confusing at a couple times. But mainly, you click on either the gun, or in some cases, do I have an M4? I do not. I sold it. Like the M4s, you have to click on the upper. To show you kind of similar, if you want to get a sight for the dust cover, you link search the dust cover like I just did. You open up weapons, parts, and mods, functional mods, sights, and under optics, if I just click on general optics or any of these, you'll see all these sights listed. I didn't unlock them yet. They'll tell you what you need, sort of. Like this says skier. This will be unlocked at loyalty level 3. And so what that tells you is you get to get Skier to level 3 to get the Swamp Fox Tri-Hawk Prism Scope 3x30. Let's see, can we do something? Well, there's one here. So if you go to collimators, again, these are all the collimators in the game that can fit under this device. Out of all of them, I can only buy this one from the Skier right now. At this price per item, this is when it resets, because you're limited to 3, so... but this will spend money to Skier, so it's good to do this and spend your money so that you can upgrade the traders. But again, so I purchased this, the Walter MRS Reflex. Just purchased one. It's going to go to my character. Probably up here somewhere, because I just moved that. Yep. And if I take this off, put this on, boom. That's how you link the sites. If I wanted the buttstock, I link search the AK itself. Go in here. Gear mods. Stocks and chassis. You can either click on the subject here or click on the individual ones. I like clicking on this one in the beginning because it lets you know a little bit easier what you have. It's not perfect, but something. And yeah. So I can't buy anything except the metal skeleton, which this one sucks. Just being honest. It's better than nothing, but it's not good. This is like the paratrooper, like drop down foldable stock. If you want to look at the grip, the pistol grip, you do the same thing. Link search. And these would be vital parts because you need it to fire the weapon. And you can see I got a couple more options. You can't really look at the new or the unresearched things yet. To give you a general idea, these are bad. They're about as these are like the worst in the game. +4 is not very good ergonomics. +2 is even worse. The main concept being the more ergonomics you have, the quieter and faster your gun is. And then obviously the less recoil you have, the less recoil there is. With these, if I take this off, you can see it'll show you how much ergonomics I'm going to lose. Putting on sights actually removes ergonomics. It doesn't matter where you put it on there, it's still going to remove the same ergonomics because it's a part of this -2 ergonomics. But that's just a quick way to see. Oh, also the muzzle. The muzzle, you want to right click, link search, and you'll get muzzle devices from functional mods, muzzle device. These will show you suppressors and stuff like that. And the front grip, the forward attaching foregrip, you have to actually go to the handguard and link search there. So just kind of experiment around. You get a feel for it. But that's how you get to foregrips. And again, you can see I don't have any. So, comrade, you've been dying a lot. You're just stuck with the hatchet. I don't know why I'm doing this accent. And you see your scav has a really cool gun, but you want to make it out. You don't want to waste a lot of time. Customs. I mean, I really don't need to say much more than factory and customs are the two most played, easiest to get in and out raids that you can do with your scav. Streets is a good one. A lot of people like streets. There's a lot of good loot there. You will have a really hard time getting into ground zero. Woods, if you have a submachine gun, you're going to get wrecked. But say you had a good rifle. Remember, also, your rifle will have reduced accuracy because of the damaged state that all scavs guns come in. Interchange used to be really great for scav. I don't know if that's going to come better now, but I've been waiting like 15 minutes for games. Reserve, great place to scav. A lot of loot. Same with Lighthouse, but can take a while when people start getting there. Shoreline as well, not bad. Also, wait time's not bad because a lot of quests there. And Terminal is not here yet, I don't think. I guess we'll find out. You cannot scav into labs because you need the key card. And so the only way to get in there is as a PMC. But anyway, you go in. You can pick night or day. It's up to you. I typically scav day scavs, just for the quick. If I'm like low on guns, I need guns. I'll just do a day scav and just roll it. Another thing I wanted to point out: this little eyeball right here. I didn't get anything cool, but it'll tell you. Do you get a bandage? I got a flashbang, cheese, IFAK, all that. Some pack of armor. See how it's damaged. See how that durability is low. It's about half. So this thing's going to jam on me, almost guaranteed. But, yeah, just a couple little things there. So you're in the middle of a raid. You don't know where your extracts are. You're looking at a map like this, and it's all confusing. Well, I'm here to help you out. Main thing you want to see, there's satellite, which will give you a little bit more of a detailed view of, like, see how you can even see the parking lines and the trees a little bit better. You can even see the different vehicles that are spewing about. That's one thing to look at. But the main thing is uncheck every check mark except extracts for now. Also note, control and scroll wheel will change the floor. You can see that most notably here. Control scroll wheel up, control scroll wheel up, control scroll wheel up. Anyway, so the base floor is the garage. This is probably where you're going to start out at, unless you go up one of these escalators here or here, or you go up the back and up the ramps here or here. But other than that, you can go through the garage. There is a ramp right here in the middle where, or is it here? Sorry. The safe room is here. This is the ramp. This is a different way up. These are escalators. But there's a spot right here where you can get right in the center of the mall from underground. There's a debris ramp. It like collapsed down into the garage, and there's some loot there too. But the main thing we're talking about is map understanding, and the most important thing is how the heck do you get out? So Emercom is a blue. You look at the filters, that means it's shared. This could mean a couple things. It could be a co-op. Co-op means you need a scav with you to extract. I believe it's per person, but I'm not sure. I actually very rarely get co-op to work. Usually the scavs shoot at you. Transit obviously means you're going to another location, so this will take you to customs. Do not touch it, because apparently if you touch it, you then can't extract. So make sure you know you're going to transit if you want to try and transit. And then PMC is just PMC only, so a scav cannot use the safe room exfil. This doesn't have scav only on this map, but again, you're looking for landmarks. You're looking for satellite image versus all the other stuff that was on the map. One thing that might help to turn back on could be place names. So go-kart, for camp, might help you scav camp, especially if you're talking to people. They use this kind of language. Not everybody knows the garages. I know every time I play, I always mess it up. But people do know power station. That's a pretty obvious one, right? So let's go to second floor. So I found out my dark reader extension was making the map look a little different. I fixed it. Also, we're on the second floor abstract. I have landmarks, extracts. Let's put spawns on and locks. So you can just kind of see kind of where people are spawning around the map here. Then I hit Control, mouse wheel up. You can see Idea, Ali, and Goshan, 3 big stores, and then all the little stores inside. And then you mouse wheel up again, you get even more stores, like Tech Light. But that's pretty much how you use the map. A good way to familiarize yourself with callouts and where you are. And the volumetric lighting setting here, set to ultra, seemingly helped with seeing in the dark for a few of our guys as well. That pretty much sums it up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, all the basics. Anyway, hope this was helpful.